Imagine going on a simple hiking trip with your closest friends, a journey filled with adventure, laughter, and the thrill of conquering the frozen mountains. But days later, search teams would discover something so disturbing, so unexplained, that even experienced investigators were left speechless. A tent, ripped open from the inside, footprints in the snow, leading into the darkness, and 9 hikers found dead under terrifying and mysterious circumstances. Some had broken bones, one had no tongue, another had radiation on their clothes. What could possibly force experienced hikers to flee their tent barefoot into the freezing night? And why, more than 60 years later, does this case remain one of the most chilling unsolved mysteries in history? Tonight, we uncover the dark truth behind the Dyatlov Pass Incident. Welcome to Mystery Unfolds, where we explore the world's most disturbing mysteries, unexplained events, and dangerous incidents that still haunt history. And today, we're diving into a case so strange that many believe the truth may never be fully known. Chapter 1. The Hikers. January 1959. 9 young hikers from the Ural Polytechnic Institute set out on what should have been a challenging but exciting expedition. Their leader was Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old engineering student and experienced mountaineer. The group included talented athletes, engineers, and outdoor enthusiasts. They weren't amateurs. These hikers were highly trained in surviving extreme winter conditions. Their goal was simple: to reach Mount Otorten, deep in the snowy Ural Mountains of Russia. The journey would be difficult, but they were confident. Before leaving, they laughed together, took photographs, and wrote in their travel journals. They had no idea. Those photos would become the last images of their lives. Chapter 2. The Final Camp. On February 1st, 1959, the group reached the slopes of a mountain known by locals as Kholat Syakhl. In the language of the indigenous Mansi people, it means something chilling: the Mountain of the Dead. That night, the hikers set up their tent on an exposed slope. Strong winds howled across the mountains. Snowstorms were common here. But again, these hikers were experienced. They had faced worse before. Inside the tent, they ate dinner, wrote in their journals, and prepared to sleep. Outside, the temperature dropped to nearly minus 30 degrees Celsius. But sometime during that night, something happened. Something so terrifying that 9 experienced hikers suddenly fled their shelter into the freezing darkness. Chapter 3. The Discovery. Weeks passed without any contact from the hikers. Families grew worried. Soon, search teams were sent into the mountains. What they found would shock everyone. On February 26th, searchers located the group's tent, but something was terribly wrong. The tent had been cut open from the inside, not ripped by wind, not damaged by animals, cut open by the hikers themselves. Even stranger, their boots, coats, and supplies were still inside, meaning they had fled into the freezing night, barefoot or half-dressed. Why would experienced hikers leave their only shelter in such deadly conditions? The mystery had just begun. Chapter 4. The Footprints. Investigators followed the footprints leading away from the tent. The tracks told a disturbing story. The hikers hadn't been running. They had been walking calmly down the mountain, as if they were trying to escape something, but not in complete panic. Nearly 1.5 kilometers away, investigators found the first 2 bodies. They were lying near a small fire under a tree. Both were barefoot. Both had frozen to death. But it seemed they had tried desperately to survive. Broken branches above them suggested they had climbed the tree, perhaps trying to see something in the distance. Something near their tent. Something terrifying. Chapter 5. The Other Bodies. Over the next few months, more bodies were discovered buried under snow. 3 hikers were found between the tree and the tent, as if they had tried to return to safety, but they never made it. And then investigators made a horrifying discovery. 4 more hikers were found in a nearby ravine. Their injuries were shocking. One had a crushed skull. Another had broken ribs so severe that doctors compared the force to a car crash. But there were no external wounds, no cuts, no blood. just massive internal damage, and one of the victims was missing her tongue. Chapter 6. The Strange Evidence. As investigators studied the bodies, things became even stranger. Some of the hikers' clothing showed radiation contamination. Their injuries didn't match any known animal attack. There were no signs of another human being nearby. No footprints except the hikers. No evidence of a struggle. It was as if something invisible and powerful had forced them to flee their tent. The official Soviet report gave a vague explanation. The hikers died due to a compelling natural force, but investigators never explained what that force actually was. Chapter 7. Theories. Over the years, countless theories have emerged. Some believe it was an avalanche, but experts say the slope was too gentle for a large avalanche. Others think it was a military experiment. Perhaps secret weapons were being tested nearby. The radiation and strange lights reported in the sky around that time seem to support this theory. Then there are the more mysterious possibilities. Some people believe the hikers encountered something not human. Witnesses reported seeing glowing orange spheres in the sky during those nights. Could it have been unknown atmospheric phenomena? Or something even stranger? The truth is, no theory fully explains every detail of the case. Chapter 8. The Last Photos. Perhaps the most haunting part of the mystery are the photographs found in the hikers' cameras. Images of smiling faces, friends joking in the snow, moments of pure joy. One of the last photos shows a figure walking through a snowstorm, alone. It's blurry, dark, almost ghost-like, and many believe it might be the final image taken before everything went wrong. Chapter 9. A mystery that refuses to die. More than 6 decades have passed since that night in the mountains. Scientists, investigators, and journalists have all tried to solve the mystery. In 2020, Russian authorities suggested that a rare type of avalanche may have caused the hikers to panic. But many researchers still disagree, because some details still make no sense. Why cut open the tent instead of using the entrance? Why leave without proper clothing? And what caused those devastating internal injuries? The Dyatlov Pass case remains one of the most chilling, unsolved mysteries in history. 9 young adventurers left for a journey into the mountains. Only their cameras, journals, and frozen footprints returned. What really happened on that cold February night? Was it a natural disaster? A secret military experiment? Or something far more mysterious? The mountains are silent, but the mystery of Dyatlov Pass still whispers through the snow. And perhaps, one day, the truth will finally unfold. If you enjoy dark mysteries and unexplained stories like this, make sure to subscribe to Mystery Unfolds, because the world is full of secrets, and we're here to uncover them. And until next time, stay curious.